Hello, welcome back. So today I decided I'm gonna use some of my favorites from 2019, but I'm really gonna try to keep it mostly drugstore based because I do wanna do this video, or at least I think I wanna do this video with some of my higher end products. So if that's something you'd be interested in seeing, let me know in the comments down below. If you have not liked this video, go ahead and do that because I'm sure you're gonna like it, and make sure you're subscribed, and we're gonna go ahead and get into some of my favorites from 2019 from the drugstore right now. A huge hype was Believe Beauty, and this maybe around, was it like August, September? I don't remember. No, actually I think it was over the summer. Believe Beauty is the Dollar General store brand makeup, and I was very hesitant to try this brand at first because I was like, that's kind of suspect. But I actually picked up some really good hits from there. So I'm gonna go in, and this is the Believe Beauty Pretty and Prime Stay Put Makeup Primer. And this one I find is actually really nice for hydrating and for keeping your makeup on. It has a kind of a more wet consistency, so it doesn't have that silicone feel. And I do find that the makeup, I feel like it stays a little bit longer with that primer. So another item that I picked up from the drugstore that I really liked this year, and this actually I may have purchased closer to 2018, I'm not really sure. This is the Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. This is in the color Light Fair. I don't really think that this is super light. I think it definitely has more of a peachy undertone for me. But what I've been doing with this is I take it and I put it onto kind of a very slightly damp sponge. Where is my mirror? And I press this right around my nose area for my pores, because the foundation that I picked for this year, or one of the many, but it's really my standout. I love the coverage of it because it's so light, but I kind of need it to stay a little bit longer because right here I get a little bit oily. So I find that this helps. So I'm sure you've seen it. This is one of K.I.T's secrets, is putting on the powder before foundation, which definitely seemed counterintuitive at first to me, but it does make a huge difference. So if you have like oily spots on your face, this definitely makes a huge difference. Now that I dumped half of that on my desk, awesome. All right, so foundation. Again, we're hitting the Dollar General store. This is the Believe Beauty foundation, and this foundation actually really surprised me. You know, they don't have a great shade range. It's from Dollar General. So I was able to pick this up at my local store, and the shade, it's okay. I don't think that it's perfect, but how I wear it, it really works for me. I prefer this because this is a very sheer to light coverage for me. It says that it's medium to full coverage. Maybe if you layer it, I've never tried that just because I find it has decent staying power. It does not stay all day. So if you need like a longevity foundation, this is not it. But you know, if you're going out shopping for a few hours, if you're just, you know, running a few errands and you just want something to kind of look a little pulled together and maybe hide any imperfections or blemishes you might have, I really like this. So I normally just take this right on the back of my hand. Again, it's a pretty watery consistency, and I first go in with a brush and I just kind of dot this all over. And I definitely think that it's workable to maybe a full coverage. I don't really know. Or maybe they consider this to be the full coverage, but I do go through and kind of shear it a little. But I really like the finish. I mean, it's very healthy. It has a little bit of glow to it, and it's not sparkly, but it has that fresh look, which I like. After I put it on with the brush, I go over just with my damp sponge just to kind of smooth some things out. I make sure that I don't have any lines from the brush, and then I also got it pressed nice and good over that powder on my nose. that was definitely one of the hits, and I mean, for $5, you cannot beat it. An honorable mention, and I will say just because I just rediscovered this, and I used to go really hard for this foundation. This is the BH Cosmetics, the Liquid Naturally Flawless Foundation. And this one's about halfway used, so I'm gonna try to get through this year, but this one is another really great affordable foundation. All right, so for blush, did I have a standout from the drugstore this year? So my blush pick this year is going to be the Flower Beauty Blush Balm, and this is a cream blush. I heard through the grapevine that they canceled these, and or that they discontinued them. Is that true? I've seen them the last few times I was in Ulta, but that means nothing. Again, I'm just using a beauty sponge, and I put it on the back of my hand and kind of blot through. And I find they're just so subtle, but you can build these up. So if you're a blush fan, this is definitely right up your alley. And I know I'm going a little out of like makeup order, but this is just kind of how I do my makeup some days. These just give a really natural look to the skin, and I'm really digging the cream products. I know because I have dry skin, so they just seem to work a little bit better for me. So we have like just a healthy look. Let's see. I kind of steered away from using a lot of concealer. I find that, you know, with this whole age thing, I'm starting to get a lot more lines and such underneath my eyes. So these are my top 3 drugstore concealers. This is the ColourPop No Filter. This is from Believe Beauty, and this is from Flower Beauty. I really have not found a concealer from the drugstore that is a great match. I do tend to mix these, especially for finish. So my 2 that I normally will go to are going to be the Light Illusion and the ColourPop, only because this one being matte and this one being very luminous, when you mix them together, it's like the perfect satin. This one from Believe Beauty, I do mix sometimes with the ColourPop No Filter, and today that's what I'm gonna do. The shade range in this, awful, abysmal actually. And this one actually pulls a little pinky, like a salmon color. I'll show you. And again, I don't use a ton just because, you know, I really don't feel like accentuating any lines that are showing up. But you can see the color difference in those. But I like the formula of it. I just need a little bit lighter. The light or the color in this is fair. I'm not sure who that's fair for, but it's not fair for me. As soon as they get better with their shade selection, I think that that would be amazing. Just because I really do like the formula of this one. So I just kind of take those and mix them just for some brightening, not necessarily for any circles. I don't really have that problem, thankfully, but I do have all of the lines, so I just like to make sure that it's a little bright so I look somewhat awake. Now once I put that on, I normally, again, like I said, I don't try to use a lot of powder, so I go in with a little bit of setting spray just on my sponge, just to put a little bit of extra hydration under here. This you will probably see in my high-end brand that I would use, my Tatcha Luminous Dewy Setting, whatever it's called. But that is not a drugstore brand. So, you know, and there's gonna be some lines and creases under there because that's just how it is. But I really like that it gives you that brightness, but it's not real cakey. So for highlight, I picked this e.l.f. highlighter up. This is in the shade Rose Gold. I cannot remember what this is called, but I did find it in Ulta. It was $3 or $4 maybe, and it's very pretty. I do find it has that weird where you kind of have to scrape some of it off. So this highlighter, it is not a blinding highlighter. At least I have not worked it up to that. I'm sure that you could, but it has that kind of that weird e.l.f. thing where you kind of have to scrape through it just a little bit, which I already have. So I just take this, of course, and let's highlight. It's very pretty. So you definitely can get it too blinding, but make sure that you do the little, you know, the scrape off the top of your e.l.f. highlighter trick. For brows, my pick this year is going to be the Total Temptation Brow Definer. And this brow definer is from Maybelline. I found this, I want to say, this had to have been towards the beginning of the year. And the shape, I was like, because I was not a fan of the Anastasia one that had this shape, but I do like it. I feel like the product, it's not very heavy, which is nice. I feel like I have pretty decent control over this. And I really only use it to fill in a few sparse areas of my brows anyway, and just to kind of bring back some of the color, because I don't do my brows before my face makeup. So sometimes, you know, they look a little powdery, and I really just put this through. The spoolie is kind of bizarre because it's so teeny tiny, like a little nub, but I just brush through, and then I just brush through the product. So one of my favorite liquid liners this year, and I found this through Taylor Wynn. This is the Physicians Formula Eye Booster, and this is in the waterproof version. I hadn't tried it previous to this, but once she said they came out with a waterproof version, I was all in, and it's so easy to use. I do not use this a ton just because I don't do wings a whole lot, but just to give your lash line a little color, I like it. So I got cocky. I thought I could do my wings on camera, but I did get this one on camera. This one, well, she took a little bit of work. And then Jeffree Star uploaded the video that him and Nate broke up. So, you know, I had to stop and watch that, which is really sad. But if you're not a big makeup follower, you probably don't know who that is. But if you do follow makeup, you know what I'm talking about. Holy hell. I did my wings. Okay, so for lashes, my favorite from this year has definitely been the CoverGirl Exhibitionist because it's in waterproof. So I'm going to pop that on. I will say that this mascara is not the most groundbreaking. I like the brush. It reminds me of the Too Faced mascara. It doesn't flake, which I like. I'm still looking for the Grand Slam waterproof mascara, which I have not found as of yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and set everything. And this, I want to say this was pre-2018, but it's still my absolute favorite from the drugstore. Beats every other setting spray, hands down. This is the Catrice Prime and Fine, and this is a Dewy Glow setting spray. Amazing. Now, some of you might be wondering, you didn't do any eyeshadow. And let me let you in on a little secret. Excuse me, can you please stop texting me? So, eyeshadows from the drugstore suck. That is kind of the PSA there. That's the message. I'm not really sure why cosmetics companies that feed into the drugstores can't get this together. I've tried, I think probably Revlon, CoverGirl, Maybelline, Almay, Wet n Wild, Believe, and they're just not it. I find that the shadows are normally dusty, they don't blend well, they look super patchy. I was going to mention ColourPop, but I feel like ColourPop gives the other cosmetic companies a pass because they're sold in Ulta and they are at a drugstore price point. So I decided I wasn't going to include my ColourPop eyeshadow palettes because the other shadows, I mean, they're more expensive than ColourPop. You know, a CoverGirl palette or a Maybelline or Revlon, you know, they're more expensive, and I really find that the quality just really lacks. So if I was not doing a no buy this year, I would spend my year probably devoted to finding proper drugstore makeup that worked well as eyeshadow. These other big brands that have been around for so long, where are their good eyeshadows? Do you have any good drugstore eyeshadows that you use? Not pressed ones, not like the metallic, like the liquids. I just like just a regular powder eyeshadow. I do want to mention, I picked this one up from Believe when I did my Believe Beauty thing over the summer, and these shadows okay, so these shadows, girl, they swatch okay, but then when you try to put them on, it is just an absolute what is that? What is that? That's what I'm talking about. We need to do better in 2020. So I'm really interested to know, what eyeshadows from the drugstore have you found that you like? I've never found one that I liked. So that's why I didn't include it. I didn't do my lips. Oh my gosh. Fail. So for lips, I chose the e.l.f. and this is in their Jelly Pop, the Juicy Glosses. These are really good. I love these for just a real sheer color, and they smell good. They smell like Jolly Ranchers. And I just kind of wipe a little bit of it off just because it's a little too glossy for me. Although my hair's back today, so it should be fine. I shouldn't get any of that fabulous, you know, hair in your gloss feelings. Okay, so these are my favorite products from the drugstore for 2019. I am looking into doing this same type of video for my higher end products, so if you are interested in that, please let me know in the comments down below. If you have found an eyeshadow at the drugstore that's not ColourPop, that you like, that works, that blends, not that I'm gonna go buy it because I'm on a no buy it, but I need a list, I need a running list. So leave those in the comments down below. If you have not thumbs up this video, I can wait for you. But you need to do it quick because we're getting ready to end. So make sure that you give this video a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, consider doing so before you leave. And yeah, that's about it. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, don't spend any money.